All right, YouTube, what's up? Just want to make a quick video today discussing earnings and the options plays that I'm going to be looking at step by step. So if you guys like the DraftKings play that we did about 2 weeks ago, hit that like button, get this video to 2,000 likes, and this video is all going to be about options. So we haven't covered options in a while, and I know that, but I'm gonna need you guys to get ready for this week because we have some notable earnings. These option plays don't happen too often because for me personally, I have to find a setup I like. Okay, I can't just blindly jump into SPY calls, or I can't jump into Apple calls for no reason, right? There has to be a setup between why I'm taking a trade. Every trade has its own reason it's being taken and it has its own risk management. So whether I put a stop loss at 30% or I know where I'm getting out of, that's the most important thing that I'm going to be watching for with these earnings trades, because they could go right either way. But you got to have your risk management and you got to stack all your catalysts, okay? Whether it being the news, stuff about in that sector, or sentiment, right? That this all applies to the earnings plays. So beforehand, let's go ahead and take a look at SPY, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the earnings. So right now we have a flash crash on SPY. We had the biggest loss in 2025 so far, and this has people spiraling all over. I might correct myself a few times in this video, but the whole point of this is to get the point across very fast, okay? So we went from 611 all the way down to 598, right? Maybe 599, right? 599, and we're now 0.04% after hours. There were major headlines that shook people out of the market, so you guys have to be paying attention to that. Because there is some earnings this week, maybe not too much of the notables, maybe some of the underdogs. Okay, a lot of people want to get in, right? With HIMS, maybe with IONQ, Rocket Lab, ACHR. Those are some earnings that I'm looking for. So it's important to follow the market, right? Watch the ETFs because they're going to tell us the bigger picture, right? We saw a sell-off in all of the sectors, and SPY was the leading indicator. So be on the lookout for SPY. We haven't seen this drop in quite a while, right? This happening about 2 weeks ago, right? So it's been quite a while, but furtherless, you see the dips being bought. So I'm going to be watching out for that. I am majorly holding cash throughout the weekend because I see a potential another drop on Monday. And if that happens, then I'm ready with my cash. Okay, so that is the sentiment on SPY. Right now we've dipped, and since we dipped on Friday, we could have a gap down on Monday. It's totally possible, right? With a gap down to the 590s or 596 area, but I expect this area to be bought up. So let's go ahead and go next to Amazon. Okay, so Amazon is a stock I don't have options on, right? But I am looking at it. So I'm looking for this one to go back down to, guys, take a look at this, the 205s, right? If we keep breaking this 215 area, I'm going to be looking at 205. That's just something I'm looking at. Next up, guys, we got ticker symbol PLTR. Okay, so Amazon was on my watch list. Nothing about the earnings plays, but Palantir, take a look at this. Okay, if you did want to play Palantir, you would look for a negative sentiment, right? This being bouncing between the 100 and 95 area, that's been hot right now. So 100 area, if this 100 area breaks, you could potentially look for puts to the $96 level. And if you guys want my options plays, when I do buy and sell my options, make sure to join the first link in the description to join the Discord. Okay, I'm gonna do my buys and sells right there, and you guys can see, okay, we are currently in a downtrend for Palantir. So it's best to not play against the trend, right? Because if you go against the trend and everyone's slamming it down, right, the big money slamming it down, then you're gonna get caught up, right? So be on the lookout for puts on this one if this one breaks $100. Next up, guys, we got ticker symbol ACHR. So let's get to the bread and butter of this week. So we got ACHR, we have Rocket Labs, we have IONQ. Those are going to be the big ones, as well as Home Depot, Lowe's, and then we also have HIMS, right? So we have a ton of companies. There are more, right? Lemonade, but I'm going to be focusing on these. Nvidia is going to be some of a side mission if I do see a little bit of a drop to the 130s. But let's go ahead and take a look at ticker symbol ACHR. And now this video is going to be fast paced, so please listen up, okay? Please pay attention. So ticker symbol ACHR. Why am I playing ticker symbol ACHR? Well, they have earnings coming Thursday. And now I know the screen says 1 day left, but I believe it's a glitch. They have earnings on Thursday. So let's go ahead and look at the 3-month chart. Ticker symbol ACHR has been growing up 51% in the past 3 months. Now this is notable because it shows that the company is growing. So this caught my eye. right? And it's one of the most discussed stocks. The volume is 40 million. So it gives me a good criteria to look on this. Okay. So we see right here that there is a frequent dip that happens around the $8.20 area, right? The 850 level. So be on the lookout for that. It hasn't been too hot in the past month, right? We're down 5%, but this gives me a buying opportunity. Okay. I'm not going to shy away from this dip just because it dipped 5%. I am looking for a little bit more of a drawdown, right? To maybe the 8s. If they do come to the 8s, right? We do have the support that you can see on the 1 month chart. Okay. So I'm be looking for that. If this does dip to 9s or high 8s, I'm going to be looking to add in on my position. All right. On the week, we're down 20% in the past week, which is a great pullback because I don't want to be buying up here, right? I don't want to be buying at $11 and we have an earnings run up potentially. Okay. When there's earnings coming up, I expect people to look in to buy in, right? I like earnings run ups because this gives me a chance, right? When they run up, I go ahead and take some profit, right? That's all this strategy is about. And on the 3 months, you guys can see, okay, I'm just going to scroll through the chart. 904 support, go down. If we break down 823. So these, I don't look no further to $7. I look at 842, 822. I'm going to be looking at 904, right? The low 9s. So these are my current levels and we're at 921. So we're basically at the low 9s, but me holding the cash, okay? Me holding cash, I'm looking for a little bit more of a drop down. Now that might be greedy, but that is just to be a little bit more secure with my capital, okay? But let's go ahead and hit trade options. Now, guys, when I'm looking at ticker symbol ACHR, there's February 28th and there's March 7th. With February 28th, it's expiring on the Friday, right? But with March 7th, you get an extra week of expiration, which could protect Theta from decaying the contract. So if we were to take a look at February 28th and look, guys, when you play puts, right, you would get a huge upside if the stock goes down. On the contrary, when you're looking for the stock to go up, you're going to go ahead and play calls. Okay. And on the contrary, you have calls, which you anticipate the stock or security price to go ahead and go higher. So with ticker symbol ACHR, they have recently filed trademarks for Giraffa and Monarch. And also they have partnered with Anduril. So I have high chances, right? I'm looking at multiple catalysts that are occurring as well as the earnings coming up. So I'm going to be watching not the February 28th. Okay. I would only watch February 28th if I'm going to go ahead and day trade, which means buy and sell the same day, right? If I capture the stock price going up and the contract's going up rapidly, I want to go ahead and take profit. But if I am swing trading, right, going ahead and taking a day out, I would be looking for furthermore time in the call options. And you're going to see, let's see the difference between the $10 call, which is 46 cents, and the March 7th $10 call. Okay, so this is February 28th. I'm going to be hitting March 7th. So you see, there is a 12-cent price increase given the amount of time. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, right? Or actually 14 cents, right? So 46 to 60 cents, that's 14 cents. But that 14 cents gives me an extra week on my contract. All I'm looking for is more time, right? Time is the most valuable asset. So because I don't want to be greedy, right? Because I'm not day trading, I'm going to be looking for the March 7th. Or I could also look for the March 14th. And this is also another 14 cents higher, right? So I'm just going to be looking at that. I'm actually going to hit buy call, right? Because I want to go ahead and buy the call. But if you take a look at this, all right, there's going to be your volume. There's going to be your delta, the Greeks, gamma, theta, vega, and rho. The most important ones are going to be the delta and theta. Theta shows how much the contract is going to decay every time it passes through, right? Every day it passes through. And also you want to look at delta. This means how much the change in dollars, it'll go up for every dollar, right? $44 every dollar up. But you also want to look at the implied volatility, which is 129.19%. So think of that just like how much people are willing to pile in and crowd on this, right? So 129% is on the high end of the spectrum for options implied volatility. That means there has to be also a record breaking move, right? You need a lot of movement in this to go ahead and profit, right? If it was compared to 30%, 40%, you actually don't need much of a move, right? It shows the trade is not that crowded and will go ahead and be more comfortable to trade, right? When you're dealing with high implied volatility, it's actually more of a benefit if you go ahead and be the seller of the option, right? Because you could collect premium. This is the sweet spot where you actually collect premium. So actually, if we do drop on ticker symbol ACHR, I will actually look on the contrary to sell some puts for the $8 strike price. But for now, I'm going to be watching these calls. So because we dropped, right, I don't want to just scroll up and hit the $12 call, right? I kind of want to stay next to where we are in the current price, because I'm not sure if we're just going to jump up 30% on a given day. Okay. Maybe for earnings, but we got to deal with the now. Okay. So that's the thing. Also securing profits. You have to deal with the now when it comes to this. Okay. So I'm going to be watching this $10 call because it's the first one that appears in my site. Okay. But if we drop down to $8, I'm going to be looking at the $9 call. All right. Just $1 out. And you could also play it safe if you hit the April 4th one, right? Giving yourself a month. Obviously, this is less appealing, but you do get time, right? That's why you see a lot of big steppers in the market by January 2026, because they have all the time in the world just to wait. They're very patient. So that's the whole name of the game. But if you anticipate a run up, right, like I do, I'm going to be watching the calls that expire in the near future. Okay. I do want the IV to dwindle down a little, right? It's at 140%, which means I'm going to need a lot of a move to go ahead and actually break even. Okay. But we have the earnings run up. We have catalysts. So I'm going to be watching for those. Next up, let's go to Rocket Labs. So if you guys want me to go in more detail, let me know. I can make a part 2 on this, but we got another stock. Okay. So we got ticker symbol ACHR. My price target on this is going to be $10 coming into earnings, but we got to see if it drops on Monday. But if you guys want my buy and sell alerts on this, go ahead and join the Discord. It's the first link in the description. Next up, we got ticker symbol RKLB. Okay, next up, I'm just going to give another example before we go ahead and end off the video. Okay, like I said, guys, this video is not meant to be 40 minutes long nor an hour. So let's go with the next example. Okay, Rocket Lab USA. Once again, I'm anticipating this one to have an earnings run up, but it has a great buy zone in the $20 area. Okay, you could see it's come back down to $22.58. It is currently at $23.64, up 2.67% in the past 3 months. Okay, so you can see this one is a monster when it comes to returns. 400% in the past year, but the 3-month guys, to look at this, there are a ton of support levels sitting around the $22.58. So just like with ticker symbol ACHR, I'm looking for a potential drop down. Okay, that's going to give me more chances to load up on the stock when it's lower. So that's what I'm looking for. All right, because a lot of these stocks, the implied volatility is high, so I just got to keep in mind of that. Let's go ahead and do another example real quick before you end off the video. If you guys like this video so far, hit that like button. Okay, it'll help me determine if I need to do more videos like this, or it'll like show me that you guys appreciate the lessons. Okay, so next up, let's go with February 28th once again. If you play puts, right, when the stock goes down, you're gonna profit, right? But you gotta keep in mind with all the catalysts. Okay, so with this one, once again, I'm watching for an earnings run up. Now you're gonna see the prices on this one are more expensive, but that's because, once again, the stock is $23. So a 2 times increase, but the premiums are way higher. Let's go ahead and take a look at the $24 call. Okay, IV is 170. And by the way, I'm not gonna go into a option and look at the Gamma, Rho, or Vega. I'm mostly concerned about the theta, delta, and the IV. Okay, so I'm not gonna watch those 3 other Greeks, but we can see that implied volatility is 170%. So that's like, whoa, that is off the park, right? That's something to pay attention to. So maybe I won't choose this, right? Unless I'm playing the earnings that one day before. Okay, I'm gonna need a huge move to break out of that into getting profits. So I'm gonna be looking maybe at the March 14th call, right? And that's gonna be way more expensive, but you can see the IV go down. Okay, I like time. That's gonna make me feel more comfortable taking this trade. Okay, so you can see the delta, $52 every dollar goes up, theta 0.06. So lesson, okay, it's a lesson in there. It will move slower, and it will decrease your contract slower. You got to think of this as an hourglass. All right, the option will go ahead and decrease in price as the time goes on, but that's why you buy more time. Okay, it's not financial advice, but I like buying more time. All right, so I'm gonna be watching for that. A lot of people love to watch these increments of fives. Okay, Rocket Lab $25 call. Okay, Ivy's at 118%. The Delta's at 47. So pretty good, right? Pretty good. And then you have March 21st. So the more time you go out, you're gonna see that the more safer is gonna be for you to hold the contract, right? So that's, in my terms, that's the most important part. So this was part one, right? Video one, just to start, little basics. I didn't even need to go in depth of every Greek, but if you guys want more in depth, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know down below. Okay, I'm just gonna show you the basics, the forefront of what I'm looking at. No real good definitions, right? Just a little bit of a starter. Then we could start going deeper into the options. So let me know if you guys like this video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join the Discord down below, because that's where we're gonna get busy into the money starting Monday. So be on the lookout for that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.